Hello, everybody. Why am I over there? That's weird. Let's move me over here. Where can I move? Who moved it? Oh, she did it. Okay, well, let's go to this. There we go. I thought that was weird. How's everybody doing? Hello, Vixen. I hope you're out there being safe, Andrew. I saw your earlier one. Out in Bloomsburg. Bloomsbury. Yeah, they charge now. It sucks. Hey, Gina. How are you? We're just chilling tonight. I'm going to play Gemma's replay, do an upload. Hello, Christopher. About 10:30. It'll probably be kind of a short night. I've been go all day. I'm kind of pee. But, yeah. We'll go to about 11, maybe 12 if I'm up to it. We'll see how it goes. But we just hang out. Gemma's not here. It's just us. But I appreciate you stopping by. You're more than welcome to stay and watch the replay. It's one of our older ones from about, let me see how old this is. No, it's one of the older ones. It's got to be at least 2 years. It didn't stay. 1 sec. 3 years ago. This one's from 3 years ago. We're going to do What-Eyed Kids. I saw one once. So, Vixen, you good? I'm glad you came in, Gina. Hang out. Watch a replay with us and hang out and talk and chat. And there's some good people here so far. God only knows who's hanging out in the background. Yeah, Andrew, they charge now. That's what I'm hearing. I talked to a guy, was it last Tuesday? That's a ripoff. I mean, you guys pay enough as it is. I'd be good, Ghosty. Good, Vixen. I'm glad you're being good. I'm glad you're good. Yeah, didn't you know that? Now that I actually knew. I thought I never brought it up because I figured you knew who it was. Now that's what I've heard, but I don't know if that's true. But it's possible. But I know that Linda Carter's Wonder Woman's son is the one that produced the show. Yeah, as a producer. That I did know. I figured you knew that. I never brought it up. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. It was all right to me. I wasn't a big, I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't say I would rave over it. In the games, the first two were cool. I played them many moons ago. Well, when they came out. Yeah, we're going to do What-Eyed Kids tonight. And then the Wallflowers, yes. Yes. One Headlight. That was a good tune. I like that song. One Headlight. But yeah. Now remember Monday, she's got 11 o'clock video. You have to forgive me. I'm real twitchy, having some issues talking tonight, so bear with me. Wednesday night, I was light as a feather. I think it was the medication they had me on. But Monday, she has 11 o'clock a.m. video coming out, her premiere. Just an upload, but chat will be open, and it's Lisa Lamb. We've been pushing it all week. I pushed it Wednesday a lot, too. It'll be a good one, so check it out. And I'll say it again probably before I leave or a couple times before that. I don't think she's got a video, the thumbnail up yet. Hope everybody had a good night last night. But yeah, we're just going to hang out, watch an upload, maybe 2. I'm jerking again. And my Wi-Fi straighten up. Usually I have really good Wi-Fi, but when I stream on StreamYard and YouTube, it just gives me all kinds of crap. But yeah, You have to forget, like I said, it's been a lot. I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. I really am. See what else? That's it. I should be here Wednesday, as far as I know. We'll go day by day. But tonight's on White Eyed Kids. And then I may play one of the missing person ones after that if we're still hanging. See how my body does. I had a pretty good Saturday, a busy one. Just trying to catch up on the house, get it ready for the spring. And I've been doing some cleaning. Doing some cleaning in my room, putting stuff away. The CEO of the company that makes Fallout. Oh, wow. It figures her son. Oh, he's got the money to do that. So, Elder Scrolls. Yeah, my son played Elder Scrolls. I played for a little bit. My problem is now it's hard to sit down. I mean, this is one of the few times you guys actually let me just sit for about an hour or two. And when Gemma streams on Friday, these are probably the most I sit, actually. And even then, I have a hard time. It's hard not to get up. I was thinking about doing some rearranging. That way I can stand up and talk to you guys when I need to. Because, yeah, sometimes sitting here is a little obnoxious for me. My body just doesn't like it. But yeah. I didn't know that, though, but it wouldn't surprise me. I'm playing Game of Thrones online at the moment. Yeah, isn't he good? One of those phone games, isn't it? No, you're probably on your phone. Or are you online? I don't know. Those games. I did get me some retro stuff. I'm a little bummed, though. I got me Turtles. And it's got all the Turtle games on it. The only problem is the first one kind of glitchy, which is kind of a bummer for PS5, but they told me I'd figure it out. Spent most of the day over to my oldest sister's pet sitting. My nephew's dog. There you go. What kind of dog? So I went retro with that Turtles. It was cheap, so I bought it. I said, hey, I might have some fun with that. Just got done playing Dino Crisis. That was really easy, but then again, that's an old PlayStation 1 game. PlayStation 1, I think. And it came out again, PlayStation. It's officially supported by himself. HBO. Oh, okay, cool. Well, I'll check it out. I don't play too many actually on the computer games. My computer, I don't have like a gaming computer. It looks like one, but it's not. It's pretty basic because I only use it for basic things. It's got a few extras that I needed for like, for more information and stuff, for more memory and stuff. But when it comes to games, I'm a console guy. I remember Linda Carter growing up as woman. Yep. I think every kid in that era remembers Wonder Woman. And they still show them on antenna TV. So all those kids that got antenna TV are watching her again, falling in love with that hot little body. Sorry, but it's true. She really had a hard time keeping that costume on, too. I play on my laptop. Yeah, I can't do the phone game thing. I just can't do it. Too small. And you even got glasses with bifocals. Yeah, that phone thing is just not for me. The only thing I use my phone with for really is Facebook. And now that I'm on TikTok, and I barely used it for that. I only did a few little shorts, and texting and using it. I don't use half the apps on here other than those. Now and then I'll use MapQuest, GPS. I use it when I go to Jersey. It's nice because it lays everything out, tells me where the bad spots are. Even tells me when there's copper. So, but yeah, the phone thing, playing games on the phone, I just don't know how people do it. And then they wonder why their eyeballs hurt. Oh, yes. I know, but I don't know. Linda's hot in her own little way. She's an American hottie. The gal's from Israel, so she's not really American. But she is. She's something else. I just like those full-bodied women. But they're both great Wonder Woman. I mean, for the times, for Wonder Woman was Wonder Woman back on TV, and now, I mean, Gal. I still watch that movie. I don't like the second one. I watch it once in a while, but the first one's great. It could have been a little better, but it's great. The Wonder Woman. The years of growing up. Wonder Woman and Charlie's Angels. My little brother had the biggest crush on Farrah Fawcett. Big time. But I think every kid did. Oh, Edna's all right. She didn't show up Friday night, and I meant to give her a timestamp. I don't have to yell at myself for that. I hope she's okay. So keep her in your prayers. Hopefully she's just busy. And if I keep saying her name, maybe she'll show up. Vixen's here. One of my ladies is here. I hope Cindy's doing all well. Cindy Lee. Been thinking about her. She's got a lot going on too. I love my ladies in my chat. Nothing offensive to the boys. So are you staying the night there? I hate to ask you what you had to pay for staying there. Did you have to pay for reservation too? I take it. I mean, those people scam you guys out of everything. I knew that eventually it would start charging. That's what I told the guy I was talking to. It's funny you brought it up after he brought it up about a week ago. It was about Tuesday, I think it was. Yeah, I think that sucks. One of the guys says they don't let them sit at the way stations for too long either, unless they're closed. And even then, they kind of get shoot along, which I think is both. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard that a couple times. It's a corgi hound. Oh, how cool! I missed that, Dixon. I'm sorry. I'm scanning chat, trying to get everybody in. Poor Jenna came in, and I tell them Gemma's not here, but I hope she hung out and she's watching. We'll start an upload here in a little bit. Like I said, it's 3 years old, so talk about white-eyed kids. I should have sent her my. But it happened before that. I think at that time I was in and out of the hospital a lot with the throat thing. But yeah, are you about ready, guys? About ready? What time is it? Everybody's quiet tonight. I don't blame you. Y'all got served in. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. You have to. I believe that. Well, I don't think you have to, but they usually, most people join. From what I understand, I don't know how that works, but yeah, I know she served. She was quite something, I guess, when she served. So she was perfect for that role anyway. She already had combat, the whole works. So she knew what she was doing. She knew what she was getting into. Oh, all those IDF women are hot. Yeah, they are. That's because they keep them in shape. Yeah, they are. They're hot. They're hot. And they keep them in shape. Yeah, some of those. I saw a couple of pilots, jet pilots, that were women from the IDF. Man, whew, it's like, holy crap. It's like they come here. It's like guys come here and say, oh, we have hot women. I don't know. We do. Plenty of. Let's not talk about women. They're not things. They're beautiful creatures like us. Anybody got any movies? Chris, you got any movies you're waiting for to come out? I'm waiting for Godzilla and King Kong. What else was it? I haven't watched Romulus yet. I haven't watched The Gorge, and Giles said The Gorge was really good. They just put a Hellboy, The Crooked Man on Hulu, so I'm going to watch it too. I'm waiting for Prey 2, and I'm waiting for Badlands. I like the aliens and predator things, so I'm big on those. And So Young, they had inspect our bus every time we had into Palestine. Oh, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did. You're just now watching it? Oh, I loved it. I watched it. Well, Giles said it was on the other night when it premiered. And I'm sitting out in the living room and I could hear it. He had it up pretty loud. No, I got to go watch it. So I came in and watched it. So I've watched them both. I'm caught up. I liked it. Let's just keep it rolling. That first part, though, man, it's hard. Giles said they'd probably kill him off. Or remove him from the show. Sorry, YouTube. Oh, no, I meant in general. Yeah, I know. Anyways, and they did right off rip. He was like, I couldn't believe they did it that fast. Yeah, they did it right off rip. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Let's see how it goes. I like him as Fisk anyways. No, I imagine. Well, let's just hope it gets really. Let's just hope they keep that tone they kept in the first one. That's really important. The Thunderbolts movie, we'll see. Hopefully, it'll be good. I watched that as a kid with my brothers. That was even before my little brother was born. You know how old those are? Those are the puppet movies. Those were the puppet ones, weren't they? Yeah. They were cool back then. It was always kind of neat to watch. I'm waiting for somebody to make a Johnny Quest show, a movie or show. My gut's saying somebody out there is trying to develop it. The Marvel Thunderbolts. I thought you were talking about the puppets. There was a Thunderbolts movie that's supposed to come out for the puppets too, I thought. I keep seeing stuff. Maybe I'm just confusing. But I know you're talking about the Thunderbolts. Well, let's hope that's good. I haven't really been too impressed with Marvel lately, so much alone DC, and I'm a DC guy. So I'm just real hoping that Man of Tomorrow and Batman Brave of the Bold are as good as they say, and the second of the Batman are all up par because they can't hurt the Batman. That was just what I wanted. I loved Johnny Quest too. It was one of my favorite shows, one of my favorite cartoons. Actually, my second oldest brother turned me on to that cartoon when I was young. He was watching it one morning, and I remember him going, "You gotta check this out, Steve. You'd like this. This will be right up your alley." Yeah, HBO has them, so I'm watching all of them too on the side. Yeah, in a few months. I'm really hoping it's good. Let's see. They're kind of going for kind of that retro thing, so we'll see. We'll see how it forms. I like the fact that they're introducing crypto, but we'll see. And Batman Brave and the Bold, I'm hearing good things, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Now, if the Batman is good as going to be, because I'm hearing it might be, a lot of people seem to think they're going to introduce Mr. Freeze. We'll have to wait and see. They're not going to do a second Penguin because of that movie. So, but I know that Colin has agreed to keep playing him for a while. So You know, that's in this. He's going to be in the background of these movies. But yeah, I'm kind of. Dad likes Superman. He really wished the Shazam movies were better, but he enjoyed them. I mean, they were good, wholesome movies, and he still liked them. But see, and he still calls Shazam Captain Marvel because when he was growing up, before the great takeaway of the name from Marvel, that's what they called him, Captain Marvel. And he said Shazam. Then they made him change it to Shazam. I'm rambling. I'm just trying to keep conversation. It's hard. It's, like I said Wednesday, it is really hard to do this by yourself. But I have a good time doing it. Got 10:21. How many we got in here? 7? Yeah, I'll probably start the video here shortly. Of course, I'll keep talking in chat while I'm nibble. But yeah, is there any other good movies coming out that I can't remember? James Gunn does what he did in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Batman. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping too. Because I do like those movies. I do like the Guardian of the Galaxy movies. I do like this. The last one was a little sad, but I do like them. But James Gunn's an interesting dude anyway, so we'll. But I got faith in him. I just wish they'd let the other guy do the ones he wanted to do, but it's okay. I would have liked to actually seen the third Batman with Keaton and what's his name? Dean Cain did good, the TV show Superman. Oh, Lois and Clark. I actually loved that show. That was a good show. My mom and dad liked that show. We watched that all the time, yeah. Lois and Clark. Yep, Gene Hackman. Yeah, and you know, they still can't. They have the person, supposedly they were offed, and they do have supposedly the person, and they think it did it. Yeah, Giles is too, because he's a zombie guy, so he watched those. We watched those together when they first came out, the first two. So he's really wanting to see this too. He's real excited for that one. 28 years later. Yeah, Hackman as Lex Luthor was classic. It was classic. That movie's so over the top though, but it's so lovable for the time it was created. That was 70s actually. Yeah, that was in the 70s. Andrew. What was that, Chris? About 75, 76? All Star Wars and all of them all came out about that same time. I could be wrong. I don't want to Google it. I'm lazy. I'm sure one of you guys will give me an answer. So are you hanging out in the truck stop now, Andrew? Is that where you're at now? In your truck? Or do you get a room? Or do you stay in your truck? Probably cheaper to stay in your truck. Man, I've seen some nice trucks decked out, man. Almost makes me want to be a trucker. Almost was. Thought about it. Even started to go to school for it. And then I changed my mind. Stayed in the restaurant business. She died of medical condition. Gene Hackman, Alzheimer's, and died a week later from. Yeah, there was this big rumor that supposedly somebody offed him and all this stuff. Thank you, Chris. Because I haven't been really keeping up on it. That's just what I'd heard last. And I was like, come on, people. That's like that TikTok crap and some of this Facebook crap you see. It's like, come on. Thank you, Chris. I figured it was something like that. I know they both were fairly sick people. It is sad. It's very sad. Vixen. And they laid there for a while because both their bodies were mummified. So that's not good. 1978. Thank you, Andrew. I knew it was in the 70s, a little or later in the year. But yeah, all those came out in that time span. I know they make stuff up. It's all trash. I know. I laugh at that guy. Sometimes I haven't really scrolled through it. So the other day I kind of sat and scrolled through it while I laid in bed. I was just laughing. This crap. And then I'm going to make crap with it. So. She had a antivirus. Forgive me. Like I said, I am having trouble speaking. So, but thank you, Vixen. I got a big sleep. Oh, that's what you need. Yeah, I did know they were both sick, though. I know he was getting bad. Yeah. It was one of the reasons why he retired. Oh, is that what it's from? Really? Oh, nasty. I didn't know what it was from. I think it was some kind of respiratory thing because it's what it sounds like, some kind of respiratory problem. Oh, that's nasty. That is just sad. That's just, it is, it's sad. And some of these Hollywood people die in some of the saddest ways. And it's like, is it really worth it? I guess it was in their eyes. That's not good. That's like dying from, I mean, that's like if you go in a cave and there's a lot of rat droppings, man, you've got to go back out and put a mask on because I'm telling you, that stuff will mess you up. Guano is what they call it, bat guano. Yeah, bats too, really. Yeah, it comes from the same, that it's, you can catch it that way too. Oh, wow. That's pretty bad. You guys keep talking. I'm just going to get ready to get the video up. I always start them at 10:30. And that's what it's for. This, why I do this is for her. Okay. And like I said, she's got her 11 o'clock video at a.m. on Monday. It's Lisa Lamb. Should be a good one. It really should be. It's from her book, so she's going to do it right from the book. So that'll be cool. A lot of cavers die from it. Yes, they do. Okay, let me get this up here. Oh, I timed that just right. Oh, no, not that. This. There we go. 1 second. I gotta share. Oh, I can't do it that way. That sucks. Okay, hold on. Okay, present. I need to be more organized at this. Here we go. Share. Put me down here in the bottom for a second, then I'll make her screen big. There we go. There you go. Still, why is it doing that? It should be bigger than that. There we go. Still should be bigger than that. Did I do this last night? There we go. All right, here we go.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, just welcome. My name is Gemma Jade, but today we are going to be discussing something that is fairly new as far as I know, at least on the internet. Anyone who's been with me for a while knows that the black-eyed kids are absolutely the most terrifying phenomenon to me. I just can't get enough about them. I'm so fascinated with them, constantly doing more research. I do have 2 BEK videos of stories, including Steve Stockton's story on my channel, but those are about to come down. I'm going to combine them. I'm actually rebooting, as many of you probably know, a lot of my older videos. I'm almost done doing that. So I was going to cover the BEK and the White-Eyed Kids, the WEK, together, but I decided not to do that because from just a cursory search of the WEK, the White-Eyed Kids, I've actually learned that they're not the same as the Black-Eyed Kids. Now, obviously, they're not the same because they have white eyes and not black. But if you do just a cursory search or a cursory investigation of the White-Eyed Kids, you'll find that they are very similar to the Black-Eyed Kids. They do the same things. They cause the same feelings. Only if you look deeper and actually go down any number of rabbit holes, from which I've managed to come back from all of them, because trust me, I went there. Every single one that I found, I've actually found if you dig a little bit deeper, they're not like the Black-Eyed Kids at all. The only similarity that I can find is that they have something weird with their eyes. So depending on your research, depending on what you believe, you may think or you may have found something that you believe on the internet during your research and investigating that is quite contrary to what I'm about to tell you today. But I can promise you that my information is based on fact as best as I can get facts in the paranormal community. I saw two things. I saw they were just like the BEK, except they have white eyes. And I saw something completely different that I decided to roll with because it just felt more real and more believable to me. And also, I think I may have made a connection that I haven't heard anyone else make yet. So if you're on the team of believing that the Black-Eyed Kids or the White-Eyed Kids and the Black-Eyed Kids are the same thing, that's fine. Still watch this video. Comment why you believe that down below. And I hope you'll still watch this and see another opinion, another side of things from something that I think is very true and very believable. Of course, the jury's still out. My mental jury is still out, as it always is. This is just the beginning, again, just like with the alien hybrid program, of my research into this topic. So some of the things I say may change, and I'll explain if something is different, like in the next video that I said now. It just means I came across something that contradicted something now. This is a new phenomenon. It's very rare that I come across something so fresh and new to discuss. So there's not a lot there except for like the cursory and like periphery kind of stuff that you get that I don't really believe is true. So without further ado, let's get into the White-Eyed Kids, or the WEK. So I couldn't find a Wikipedia page exactly for the White-Eyed Kids, but I did find something on Wiki Fandom, and it said, quote, "The white-eyed children are a race of humanoid beings who bear a few similarities to the infamous black-eyed children, but they also share several contrasts with them. So much so, some paranormal investigators believe that they are the true masters of the Black-Eyed Kids," end quote. That one point fascinated me, and I found a little bit of research on it of why people think they may be the masters and how they drew that conclusion, but I'm not going to be covering that today because that goes super duper deep, and I just have too much information to get through first before I can come to any kind of conclusion on that. But trust me, this is really interesting. So let me tell you what I dug up just from a little bit of a cursory search. Their home world, so where they're from, is listed as, quote, presumably Earth, end quote. And I gotta say, I definitely beg to differ that opinion. I know I'm not alone in thinking that the BEK have no home anywhere in, around, or near Earth. And I believe the same is for the White-Eyed Kids. I mean, if they did have some kind of home here, then why would they constantly be needing to get into our houses? I mean, I'm being a little bit facetious, but not really. That makes sense to me. There's something that they need in human beings. I don't even believe it has anything to do with our homes or our vehicles. So I don't think that either one of these have their homes on Earth. They're definitely otherworldly, presumably evil, and unquestionably supernatural. The WEK's abilities are listed as, quote, mind control, teleportation, brainwashing, and hypnosis, end quote. The White-Eyed Kids are known to knock on the doors of apartments and residential homes, just like their dark-eyed counterparts, but that happens very rarely. The differences between the two, though, are very striking. And while the WEK are known sometimes to knock on the doors of the residential homes like the BEK, it's not all the time. With all that being said, And I want to know your guys' opinion at the end of the day, at the end of this video, which you would prefer. I would take a white-eyed kid encounter any day of the week over a black-eyed kid, I think. Again, mental jury's still out, but after this video, at the end of the day, which one would you prefer if you had to choose? A white-eyed kid encounter or a black-eyed kid encounter? Let's find out the details. Unlike the black-eyed kids, the white-eyed kids do not need permission to get into your home. The black-eyed kids knock on your door. They beg to be let in. If you don't let them in and you don't want to and you tell them no, they start getting really angry, really kind of obnoxious, really mean, evil looking. This is usually when they'll reveal their eyes to try and scare you. They do ask politely at first, but as you know, like they cause this really deep sense of kind of profound fear and dread, which overtakes the person that they're encountering or that's encountering them most of the time before they even approach the house, or as they're approaching the house, the person inside has no idea they're coming to the door, and all of a sudden their animals are acting strange or like super terrified, and they get this like kind of primal fear, this kind of, Brian Bethel said it best when he said he had this primal fear and something inside saying, "Run, you fool." That always stuck with me because after reading about several of these accounts, I definitely agree with that with the BEK. If you encounter them, run, don't walk the other way. We're going to find, though, that with the white-eyed kids, you may not be able to do that if you wanted to. And that's a really scary thought to me. It's also kind of common knowledge now that the black-eyed kids travel in small groups, usually 2, sometimes 3, and every once in a while there will be just one of them, but they're almost never alone. The white-eyed kids are almost exactly the opposite. They are almost always by themselves. There's usually just one of them, but there can be up to 3. I don't think there's been any, as far as my research goes, there hasn't been any encounters where there's been more than 3. And it's extremely rare to find more than 1. It does happen, but not that often. The white-eyed kids tend to be the solo wolf pack, if you will, of whatever dimension or realm they come from. Also, while it seems like the BEK prefer to do their business in mostly domestic areas, due in large part to the fact they like to hang out in parking lots and near residential homes and businesses, apparently, the white-eyed kids have a different hunting ground entirely. While it's true, yeah, like I said, sometimes they'll appear in residential homes or in parking lots of businesses. And yes, I said appear in, and we'll get to that later. They're most often encountered in isolated areas of the woods and mainly and more specifically campgrounds and on hiking trails. You know where I'm going with this? The WEK don't need to knock, however. They don't need to ask or demand or beg to gain entry. They simply just appear. They show up and they seemingly hypnotize the victim into doing whatever they want done, which is still a huge mystery because here's the scary part. Nobody ever remembers what they wanted. The focus on this video, as short as it's going to be, and the reason it's so short is because this is just, as I said, the very beginning of my research, but I wanted to give you guys something to look forward to, something to chew on, something to think about, something to wait for, right? It's a theory I've come up with in researching the white-eyed kids and also with all of the extensive research I've done on the missing people when researching the Fae, like the missing people in the woods. You guys know I do the Fae Theory videos for missing persons and mysteries. And I'm also writing a book that'll be out this summer on the missing and Fae theory. So with all of that research about taking the Fae out of it for this video and just talking about the missing people, you know that I've done extensive research on the subject, and I've come across an idea, a theory that I believe is my own, which makes me wonder if the WEK could be connected somehow to the missing people in the woods. After all, their main domain is isolated areas of the woods, specifically campgrounds. Could they be lurking in the shadows, waiting for some unsuspecting camper or small child to wander off to either use the bathroom or go for a hike or just have some privacy in the woods? Perhaps a camper or a hiker will want to go off alone and pick some of those sweet and luscious looking berries. We know the Fae will take care of them once they get to that point, but what of those who never do? Could it be the white-eyed kids? Let's take a closer look. The witnesses, or victims, as I like to call them, who have had encounters with these beings, for the most part, don't feel any type of dread or bad, not even any kind of odd feeling that we always seem to hear about when people encounter or are about to encounter the BEK, right? That overwhelming feeling of dread that I talked about earlier. This doesn't mean anything, though, at least in my opinion, as far as their intent. Maybe they just have better magic or a better ability to hide that part of themselves or somehow shield themselves from our primal or basic human instinct, our survival instinct, which brings on those feelings and tells us deep down inside, run. These whites are also known to have much stronger abilities when it comes to hypnosis and telepathy. So basically, if they want you to do something, you're doing it. The BEK are also known to make the human involved unintentionally or even subconsciously almost start granting their requests. And what I mean is you'll often hear in the retellings of these encounters that the person was subconsciously reaching for, say, the door to open it, only realizing what they're doing at the very last second. And every single time it makes the entity or entities much more angry. So there's been a lot of accounts of black-eyed kids encounters where the person is going as they're saying no and knowing in their head they are not going to unlock their front door, say, or open their car door. They'll be reaching for the latch or the doorknob to open it as they're telling themselves they're not going to. The BEK are actually known for that. What's normally reported from the small amount of information that I've been able to gain through witness and victim testimony is that when the white-eyed kids appear in someone's presence, whether it be in their home or a tent in a campground or wherever else they may approach somebody, wherever they should so desire, actually, they do so and then they stare emotionlessly and unblinking at the person. They never speak. They never give away any kind of intent. They never do anything other than stare. The person they are doing this to feels nothing bad or different until, of course, they see the eyes, the all white eyes. Otherwise, it's just a creepy encounter with some kid. Creepy, though, only because of the unblinking and silent staring. After the initial encounter, the white-eyed kid immediately vanishes pretty much into thin air. And the victim usually feels they're being followed, but can't ever see anyone in their midst. And this has been known to last for weeks or even months after the initial encounter. Also, they will find child or teenage-sized handprints on their windows and other surfaces where such things could be seen, like a mirror in the bathroom, perhaps, or the window in a camper van. These too vanish quickly, almost as fast as the children themselves. I say children very loosely because most of the time they are of a different age than the BEK. The BEK are known to range from like small toddler to almost adult. The white-eyed kids are usually somewhere between 15 and 17. That's pretty much all you'll ever see. Now, there has been an account or two where there's one that's like 11 or 12, even 14, but it's kind of varying in that age range. You know, what's the difference between 14 and 15 or 16 and 17? So they're in kind of that age group as well. That's very different from the black-eyed kids. There's also been speculation that the white-eyed kids are some kind of harbinger of death, messengers of death, being encountered more often than not before some tragedy or death. What does it all mean? I have no idea yet. The fact is, I just don't know enough yet. While some encounters that I've come across do insist the white-eyed kids were begging to be let in, there's so much more information to the contrary. I believe they have much stronger magic, for lack of a better word. I believe they're better able to use mind control to control humans, but yet I've not been able to find a substantiated claim about what exactly it is that they're trying to communicate. Now, I know what you're thinking. When I say, quote, substantiated claim, end quote, you're saying to yourself, how is any of this substantiated, Gems? Right? How? And I know that. I'm just going by what I feel in my gut. Admittedly, I'm no expert on this, but I think I'm onto something here. The term white-eyed kid, in my opinion, is a bit misleading because, like I said, they're not really little kids. They're teenagers. We should call them wets, white-eyed teens. What do you say? Let's start a movement. They're no longer WEKs or white-eyed kids. I'm going to call them wets, white-eyed teens. You with me? So if I'm right, and the white-eyed kids' brain works the same way as humans, then perhaps they are more intelligent than their counterparts because of this. After all, nobody's given any awards to the black-eyed kids for their vocabulary, vernacular, or communication skills, right? So that's for damn sure. You guys know that. They say the weirdest things. Can I use your telegraph? Is it food time? You guys know the issues with them and their vocabulary there. So they're not winning any spelling bees, right? But the white-eyed kids, it's different. They seem to be more intelligent. They don't speak, and people who have encountered them can't remember them communicating anything. They can remember that they were communicating something, but they don't remember what it is. But they don't remember also like that it was any kind of broken language or something. They understood exactly what the white-eyed kids were communicating to them at the time they were communicating it. Does this make sense? Are y'all following me? I have a pretty good point here when I say, although the white-eyed kids don't seem to ever speak, it's not really that though, is it? They do speak, just not with their mouths. Their voices will penetrate their victims' brains. And I still haven't been able to find a single believable retelling though, where I can figure out what they are saying in these communications. What is their purpose? What is their intent? I just don't know yet. This is what led me to thinking perhaps they are connected with the missing phenomenon somehow. Now, understand, as I'm sure most of you do, I am not saying in any way that they are responsible for all or even a large part of these strange and mysterious vanishings in the woods, right? Just like I don't think that about the Fae either, though. I don't think it about the Glimmer Man. I don't think it about a serial killer. I don't think any one entity or thing is responsible for all of what's going on with the missing phenomenon. But all of them collectively, or most likely, more likely separately, I think do play a part in one or the other missing persons case. I don't think they're working together, but do I think they're aware and conscious of each other? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the case. Could this be one of the missing pieces? Let's discuss how they could be responsible and what their part may be. So there's a story floating around out there on the internet. And remember, it's all alleged and your decision to make if you're going to believe the person who tells the story or not. I choose to believe most of the paranormal stories of encounters and retellings that I come across within reason. And I try to use my own reason and knowledge when making that decision. Also, if you're here, it's probably because you have an open mind and are willing to hear me out. At least that's my hope. So there's this story of an encounter going around of how a man and a woman were camping in or near the Great Smoky Mountains. They took a kayak out on the water, they hiked, they built a campfire. They were a young couple right out of high school, if I remember correctly. And they were out for a nice and possibly kind of romantic time in nature. If I remember correctly how the story was told, it was actually the girl that was 19 and the boy, the man, was 21. So they say they were having a perfectly normal, fantastic time, actually. They set up a tent in their camping area. They went to sleep for the night. The young girl reported that all day that first day, no matter how much she tried to shake it, she had the feeling that she and her boyfriend were being watched. She decided not to say anything to him because I guess she didn't want to ruin the mood. When they went to lay down in the tent, however, all the hairs on the back of her neck stood up and she felt as though someone were right outside of the tent, just standing there, listening, lurking. At this point, she was scared enough that she finally told her boyfriend, and he explained that he too had felt the exact same feeling all day long of being watched that he could not shake, but he didn't want to tell her because he didn't want to scare her and then ruin the mood. I believe the way the young man told it to her was that he had felt a, quote, presence, end quote, all day long, the entire time, as though there was someone or something out there with them that they just couldn't see, but could somehow sense. He stayed quiet, again, not wanting to scare her. So while the BEK invoke this kind of primal dread, do the white-eyed kids just bring up and open up all of your primal senses so that you have this knowledge of them? Or do they purposely make you have knowledge of them to get scared and prepare for the encounter? I don't know yet. So the couple, after sharing these feelings with each other, talked for a little while inside the tent about how empty the camp seemed to be. No other campers were within sight or earshot, and come to think of it, they hadn't seen anyone else the entire time they'd been there. As the night wore on, despite the creeping feeling tingling in their spine, they somehow managed to fall asleep. One of them, I believe it was the woman, but I can't be sure because I can't find the story anymore. I read it a few weeks ago and now it's gone. Let's say it was her for the sake of the story. She stepped behind a tree to do her business and started back to the tent, which was about a yard or two away. Don't want the scent of urine to attract too much wildlife right next to the tent, I guess. This is when she says she heard the sound of a twig snapping on the ground right behind her. It was as though it were under someone's foot. Someone was walking right behind her. She tried not to turn around and to just walk faster and directly to the tent. By the time she got there, she was almost in a run and crying. All of the small hairs on her body standing straight up on end. Her heart raced. She turned around as she ran, but saw nothing. Her boyfriend had woken up, and when she wasn't there, he stepped out of the tent and was about to go and look for her, but she came crashing into him. When he saw how shaken up she was, he asked her what was wrong. She told him she definitely heard someone following her in the woods. They went and searched the area with flashlights, but saw no one and saw no sign of anyone having been there. They went back to the tent, but neither got much sleep that night. So according to the rest of the story, the next morning at dawn, the woman stepped out of her tent yet again, and immediately she heard a small voice. But she didn't exactly hear it per se. It was in her head, but it wasn't her voice. It was kind of in her mind's eye. The voice was telling her to, quote, come, end quote. It was soft and inviting and even pleasant. It also seemed, as she recalled later on, but didn't notice in the moment, that it was putting her in a kind of trance. It was as though she couldn't resist the urge to go to it. She followed the voice, and suddenly there it was. Standing directly in front of her was another young woman, about the same height and weight, blonde hair just like hers, but maybe a few years younger. She didn't know how she knew that, as the other young woman was wearing a cloak with the hood up, and since she was looking down, she couldn't really see her face. They had a sort of strange conversation, seeming like the girl in the red cloak was trying to somehow convince her not to be scared and that they were the same. Why would she feel the need to do this? Because she wasn't human. When the girl with the cloak looked up, she had all white eyes. When we think of the BEK and their inky, dark eyes as black as an abyss, we think of how evil they are. But please make no mistake. When you think of their light-eyed counterpart, do not for a second think the opposite. There was nothing light or good in the stare, and it was a stare too. This cloaked girl simply stared into the eyes of the young woman with a kind of sick and twisted smile on her face. Not a pleasant and happy smile, mind you. The girl found she couldn't look away, and she couldn't even blink. They sat and stared for about 2 minutes, although I'm sure it seemed like an eternity. All the while, the girl heard a strange humming in her mind's eye, like a vibration or pulsating, which was just starting to hurt her brain really bad. All of a sudden, the cloaked girl broke eye contact, and the young woman was able to blink again. When she opened her eyes, she saw that, as fast as it took her to blink, the cloaked girl was gone. The young woman was almost incapacitated with fear and had a massive migraine headache. She remembers being completely disoriented and confused, unable to make her way back to the campground and her boyfriend. Actually, she claimed she didn't even remember where she was or where she was supposed to be going in the first place. She started to just wander around the woods, and she came across a berry patch. Just as she was about to pick and eat them, allegedly, her boyfriend found her. She was unable to remember or explain what had happened to her for months. When she did, people obviously found it hard to believe her. And, you know, I don't blame them. I mean, white-eyed kids, black-eyed kids, if you're not in this community and, you know, you just may not believe something like that. And maybe this is why I can no longer find the story. As I've learned from experience, very recent experience, people on the internet who hide behind their keyboards can be very, very cruel. A lot different than when they're saying something to your face or saying something to you which they won't say to your face. Ever. So anyways, maybe that's why the girl took the video or the story down, because she was sick of being taunted by grown-ass adult bullies. I know that when I read it, I thought it was a few weeks ago, but thinking back, it was before I had ever heard of the white-eyed kids. So it had to have been like 5-6 months ago, actually. And don't ask me where I saw it either. I just know it was there. I took little notes on it because I was like, what's this, white-eyed kids? And then I was like, oh, that was a fluke. That was like a one-off, somebody making up a story, until recently you guys have been bringing to my attention these white-eyed kid encounters. So I went back through my notes and I was like, whoa, I have something on that. Let me get it, make sure I have the notes correct, make sure I have the story correct, fill in the blanks, and I just couldn't find it. I couldn't help but immediately be struck by a few things about her story, though. The confusion and disorientation, not remembering where to go and what to do, not remembering anything at all, and wandering aimlessly around the woods. I believe in this encounter. Could the white-eyed kids and the Fae somehow be working in tandem, one leading a helpless and lone human to the other? With the Fae, I can at least make an educated guess what their goal is, depending upon the description given by the victim and depending upon the species, what I've learned from my extensive research. But the white-eyed kids, what did it want? What was its purpose here? The young woman from the campsite said the more time passed, the more she started to forget her encounter, which is why she decided to tell it publicly in the paranormal community in the first place, so she didn't forget. How many people have had encounters like this and forgot, either immediately or a little while after the fact? I don't have answers and haven't been able to make too many connections yet, but I promise I'm working on it. I guess you'll just have to stay tuned. Let me know in the comments what you think. I promise I have more research. I'm not just going to leave you hanging. You know, your girl would never do that. But I wanted to get this video out just to give you guys a little taste. I've been promising you that I would share some of my connections that I'm making. And this is just one or two. You guys know how I do with my deep dive. So don't worry. There's plenty more coming. Guys, be sure and give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed coming and spending this time with me, I really love spending this time with you and talking about the paranormal. You know, this is one of my favorite things to talk about, one of my favorite subjects, the overall of the paranormal. And I love that my subscribers love it as much as I do. I just want to say thank you guys so much. I hit 1,000 subscribers. This is awesome. And also thank you so much for all of the congratulations and outpouring of love that you guys have given me since I've hit 1,000 subscribers a couple of days ago. You guys know that was a huge long-term goal of mine that I finally reached 1 year and 1 week after I started this channel. So 53 weeks later, and I did it. Thanks, guys. Just got to work on those view hours. I think I need like 1,000 more, which should be fine. Then I can do live streams now. Anyways, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to the channel. I'm sure if you like this video, you will find some that have way more information on other paranormal subjects that you may or may not have heard about before. And always be sure to leave your opinion in the comments or just drop me a comment. I really love reading and discussing in the comments with you guys. I don't always get back right away, but I try really hard to get to every single comment. You'll know I read your comment because you'll get a like and a heart. I like and heart every single comment that I read. Obviously, as long as you're not a troll. Share this video, share the love, right? Spread the word about white-eyed kids. Let people know when they're in the woods. There is now another paranormal phenomenon going on, another entity that they need to keep an eye out for. You know, last year around this time, it was the Glimmer Man was just coming out. And don't get me wrong, he's still there. And I still have a lot more research to do on him because I encountered one personally. Guys, that's all I have for tonight. I love you so much. Be sure and check out the description box for the 3 live streams Steve Stockton and I do every week.
Okay. I don't know if I'll do another one. You guys want me to do another one? I can do another one. Let me know if you want me to do another one. Let me do this real quick in case we do. I could do one of her mystery ones. I have so much. I did a show back in the last November. It was almost 2 hours. I talked about my stuff and stuff that happened to some of the other trucker friends. Oh, man. Truckers, cops. I've talked to truckers, cops, firemen, ambulance drivers. Those are the people you want to talk to about seeing weird stuff the most. Next to people that work in hospitals or nursing homes. Or like anytime you're working like that kind of way with the public. Okay, let me see. Yeah, because actually, I don't know if she ever did another white-eyed kid video or not. I never looked to see if there was a part 2. Is that bad or what? She had so much going on, then she still does. Let me see. I don't see one. The back Dahlia was her best. Yeah, and this Lisa Lamb that she's doing Monday should be really good too, Andrew. So make sure you catch that one. Those were from her book. She just released Gone. Is it Gone 5 or no? It's Gone 5. Gone 3 or 4, whatever it is. Now I feel stupid. She's going to yell at me. Anyways, it's from her new book. So yeah. And folks, if you haven't gotten their books, go check them out. Start with the Fae one first. Fae and the Missing 911. That's a good book to start with. Then get them as you go. I'm going to start see if I can find hardcovers. I like hardcovers. Hold on, I'll be right with you. I'm just seeing if I do play another one, where it will be. You can do one about Jen if you want to do one about Jen. I have my own opinions about Jen. Or we can do an alien one. See, what happened was I cleared this and it updated and it got rid of all the ones I watched in the past. So now I'm kind of like trying to remember which. I know I showed all the listener encounters, except for the newest ones. Darn it. Hey, Mike, how you doing, bud? Mr. Behold, I hope you are well. Thunder and lightning, crash, boom, bang. I'm trying to find a second video. Trying to find a second video to watch. I never did find. I went through this like 3 times. Unless I'm missing it, I don't think she ever did a part 2 to White-Eyed Kids, unless she mixed it with one of the other ones, which I think she did. Let's see. Did we watch that one? Hold on. Where'd it go? I just saw it. Don't do this to me. It's in here somewhere. We can do Trek or Creepy Encounters from on the road, Andrew. You want me to do that one? It's only 19 minutes long. It's a short one. Oh, here it is. Okay, let's do this one. We're going to do BEK and White-Eyed Kid. What are they? Demon Theory. I don't know if I watched this one before, but I don't know. Hold on. Oh, stop. Let me get it ready to rock here. Why'd you do that? Okay, let me start over here again. Okay, there we go. This one. There we go. Move this over. Go. Let me make sure you tell me the sound's okay on this, okay? We'll watch this one, maybe hang out a little bit. You guys can keep talking, have a good time. So, but I was going to ask you how you're feeling, Mike. I hope you are doing good. Okay. Present. Share. Blow up the screen and go.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, just welcome. My name is Gemma Jade, but today we are going to be talking about the white-eyed kids and the black-eyed kids phenomenon. And it's going to be one theory in particular, the demon theory. Guys, I hope that you can tolerate me. I am getting really sick, so I think my voice is even more annoying than usual. But I know you guys are my fam, and it's all love. So let's get started, because I'm also having issues with recording and everything keeps shutting down. So hopefully I can get through.
Yeah, every time you talk about black-eyed kids, the Fae,
I just want to start off
back in the day,
calm you all down and let y'all know this is simply one theory of many I'm going to be discussing when it comes to the black and white-eyed kids. I spoke of each briefly in some other videos I released, and I gave them each their own video, but I hardly scratched the surface of any of this. The problem with my research, I have nowhere else really to go with it except to get into theories. There is nothing else left but encounters and theories. There are enough encounters reported on the internet alone of the black-eyed kids. The encounters of the white-eyed kids, though, stand at about 2 handfuls, and only about a third of those, in my opinion, are actually believable. I've said it so many times before, and I'll say it to you again. I'll only present information to you when, of course, none of it can be backed up by facts and evidence, which I believe in, and that includes any kind of encounter story. Black-eyed kids, glimmermen, I've done faceless entities, white-eyed kids, encounters of people finding staircases in the woods, right? I'm thoroughly convinced that while the white and black-eyed kids are connected, I also believe their MO is completely different. I mentioned this in the white-eyed kid video I previously presented to you guys when I reported that they seem to work alone, while their black-eyed counterparts are almost always at least in a pair and usually having 3 of them together while approaching their unsuspecting victim. The white-eyed kids almost always, and from what I've seen, normally approach people while they're alone in the woods. And the black-eyed kids are almost always found in residential areas, knocking on some poor fool's door in the middle of the night, right? The white-eyed kids and their trolling of the woods leads me to believe there is some kind of connection with them and all of the random people who go missing every day in our national parks and forested areas. Just like I believe the Fae are responsible for some of it, Glimmermen, other cryptids, serial killers, ferals. I mean, we can go on and on. As I'm sure many of you know right now, like I just stated, I have several theories on the missing phenomenons. So with all of that in mind and with all that being said, let's get in now to the theory of how and why the black-eyed kids and the white-eyed kids could possibly be demons. Here we go. We can go on and on over the debate about whether or not these phenomena are connected, but also we can go on and debate about what each of them actually are. Like I said, this is the demon theory. What first drew me to this theory was my constant nagging in the back of my brain every time I would open my computer to research one of these or the other. I mean, there has to be something with the eyes, guys. I've always said, and I still stand by my statement, that I believe they could be demons, because I know that when a demonic entity is trying to impersonate a human being, they cannot, and I really mean they absolutely cannot, replicate a human being in its entirety. There always has to be something off. Now, when I think about this, though, I also think, like, aren't they smart enough by now to know that this is creepy AF and that there's no way a human is going to fall for thinking either of these types of kids are normal human children or teenagers? I mean, with the eyes, right? It's so incredibly obvious. It's even obvious before you see their fully black or fully white eyes. It's terrifying. They're unnaturally still, their voices are dull and robotic, and they ask you weird things like, can we come in and use your telegraph? Or is it food time? But in just focusing on the eyes, here's what I've learned. Demon eye color is indicative of their status in hell. So basically, whatever color their eye is determines what they do as a kind of job, for lack of a better way to phrase it, right? There are allegedly 7 princes of hell who all fall under the master and leader of hell, Satan himself. Each prince rules over one of the 7 deadly sins. This is how I've come to understand it, and I do believe this. If you don't believe any of this, if your beliefs differ on one point or another, feel free to put it in the comments, but be respectful not only of me, but also of yourself and others in the comment section. So the Prince of Lust has pink eyes, not pink eye. Gluttony, orange eyes, wrath, crimson eyes, pride, golden eyes, envy, blue eyes, greed, green eyes, and gluttony, purple eyes. And keep in mind that these are not like any shade of human blue that you've ever seen. They're scary and creepy and sometimes glowing. You know right away just by looking at one of these eye colors right off that something wasn't right with the person or human you were encountering, should they have any of these colors of eyes. There's also a different title or heading, if you will, which I can only explain by putting it out there as though I were talking about soldiers in an army. And yes, I did find this Googling, and I found it in several separate sources, though, and it was pretty interesting to me, right? So you let me know if you believe it or not. This made sense to me because, as most of us know, demons are soldiers in the war of good versus evil anyways, so this comparison was rather fitting.
I do not know what happened there.
The colonels. It's the highest.
I froze. I don't know if you guys froze.
They're in charge of all the other demons. Yellow-eyed demons are kind of like the generals in the army. Combat readiness and training for combat fall under the basic job description of the yellow-eyed demons. The orange-eyed demons fall under the authority of the white and yellow-eyed ones. They are responsible for all of the deals made. Like, for example, people who want to sell their souls. I don't have any idea how to go about doing this, but I truly believe that there are some people, even some celebrities, who have said that they sold their soul. I really believe that people have done this. I don't think of the old Faust plays of the 1800s either when I say this, as someone who has been twice approached by a demon offering me everything I have ever wanted and dreamed of in my life if only I would bow down to him. I know for an absolute fact that this happens, and I know that it's downright terrifying. So these guys go about wheeling and dealing for people's souls, among other things. These demons are also the ones who are in your head, enticing you to do things in the guise of it being your own thoughts. Like all demons, they feed off of our emotional outbursts and energy, but that's for the demonic possession series that I was going to start this fall, but hopefully it'll come in the new year. Stay tuned, guys, and work with me like you always do. Love you for that. Lastly, we have the black-eyed demons, and these are the lowest men on the totem pole. They're like the knock-around thug kind of guys. They go around and try to collect souls by enticing humans to let them into their home. And then that's where the black-eyed element, the black-eyed kid element comes in. Often quite young and most likely very new to hell, these rookies are a bit wayward and have a long way to go before knowing their place in the grand scheme of things. I believe that this is why the BEK go around knocking on doors and windows in the middle of the night and making themselves so obvious. The white-eyed kid encounters are different in so many ways, mainly in the way that they will approach you most often when you're alone in the woods, meaning the white-eyed kids. They invade your thoughts and play with your emotions. They take the memory of ever meeting them away after the encounter is finished. Sometimes the memories in the horror come back, sure, but it's hardly ever remembered in full and always leaves the question, why and what was that? They try to get you to do things by messing with your brain. And still, after all of my research, I cannot for the life of me figure out their end goal. What do they possibly accomplish by luring some unsuspecting camper and then having a conversation telepathically with them and then erasing the memory of it? It kind of makes me wonder if so many of the people who die by misadventure were made to do so by a white-eyed kid encounter. Maybe they feed off the energy of death and or pain and force us, all while we're still thinking it's our own idea, to do foolish things while out in the woods. I'm almost 100% convinced of this. I stand at like 98%. There has to be something in it for them. If it was the lesser demons who were engaging this behavior, I would say they're just doing it for some fun, poops and giggles or whatever, to watch some dumb human do something dumb and suffer a serious injury and possibly die. Like, what do they have to do better, right? But no, these are the head honchos we're speaking of here. There has to be something major in it for them. Maybe we'll never know. Due to the fact that they do rise in rank and get a different eye color each time they do, it's obvious there would be more of the black-eyed kid than white-eyed kids encountered then. Think about the statement I made in the beginning of this video, or even of your own knowledge of this phenomenon. If you know anything about the black-eyed kids or have done even a tiny bit of research, you'll see that far more cases of people encountering black-eyed kids than white-eyed kids exist. I mean, it could be said that they're happening in the same number as the encounters of black-eyed and white-eyed kids, but that the white-eyed kids' ability to erase the actual encounter, erasing the memories, that's making people come forward with these encounters less likely. Sure, I mean, we could say that, right? With all of this being said, know that the white-eyed kids are far more dangerous as well than their black-eyed minions. They often leave handprints on the vehicles of the campers they've overtaken. So even if the person has no memory of the actual encounter, they will still find handprints on their vehicles weeks to even months after they had gone on their camping or hiking trip or whatever they were doing in the woods, and they were lured to be alone. The white-eyed kids are far more invested in the encounter and far more involved in the attack. And I believe that if you have one encounter, you may have many, as I believe a part of the demon latches onto you, if for nothing other than to keep the memory of it locked away tight, a soul attachment. For the most part, too, we normally associate children, even teenagers, in most cases, as innocents. We look at them as though they aren't dangerous at all. I thought all along, as most people do, that this is the reason the demons choose to take on this guise. Playing the sympathy card is a big one for the black-eyed kids, but they just don't seem to grasp the fact that their eyes are super creepy and they're hardly ever going to fool anyone with those robotic movements and monotone voices. I believe also that this is the reason why a lot of children are approached by these demonic entities, both of them. Think about it. How many children and teenagers have gone missing in the woods throughout the years only to be found dead in some weird place, far out of the way and seemingly impossible for them to have been able to get to it? Think about it too. Demons have been around since the beginning of time. Not only do they have a severe hatred of us humans, they look at us all as children, as infantile, as brand new, dumb, easily fooled. This is why once you call a demon out, sometimes they will show their true form and go to attack you, but other times they will either leave or keep right on pretending. I've come across more than several black-eyed kid encounters where the people knew exactly what they were looking at, be it that they had researched the subject, or like almost all of the cases we came across with just that little bit of research, they had some kind of primal knowledge and some kind of fear that came up that told them something just wasn't right with the children standing outside their window or door. Teenager, child, whatever. In order to go any further, we have to talk about the fact that this phenomenon, when spoken about in relation to these creatures being demons, is both ancient and brand new all at the same time. One of the earliest accounts of someone encountering a black-eyed kid dates back to 1950 in Virginia, and it was about a 16-year-old boy who we only know as Harold. According to the story, he was walking home one afternoon when he came across another boy leaning against the fence as if waiting for someone. Harold attempted to speak to the other boy, but no matter what he asked, he got no response. He was about to walk off and go on with his journey home when the strange boy suddenly spoke to him and said to Harold, quote, "I want to go to your house. You're going to walk with me to your house," end of quote. It was then that Harold noticed the blackness of the boy's eyes. There was no white, just solid black. Then something even stranger and more chilling happened. Harold had begun contemplating turning and running home as fast as he could because that primal fear, that caveman knowledge kicked in. This is when the other boy blurted out, "Now don't you run away from me. You're going to walk up to your house with me." Harold turned and ran away as fast as he had ever run before, like his legs were moving. He later recalled to his parents that as he did so, he heard a scream behind him, and a scream that sounded very familiar to an animal, a bobcat, actually. Interestingly enough, his parents believed their son's account, and they believed it so much so that his father was said to have grabbed his gun immediately and went out looking for the menacing boy who had demanded his son take him back to the family home. The mother, though, apparently thought her son had an encounter with the devil himself and stated that she would take him to see the local priest. This is actually the oldest legend surfacing on the internet, as far as I can tell, but believe me, the Native Americans have their own legends of creatures similar to the B and WEKs as well, and they all lead pretty much to the same summation that we are indeed dealing with demons here. We'll explore those particular legends in an upcoming video, but I have to wonder, to what end? I mean, as I've said before, and I'm sure most, if not all of you would agree with me when I say they aren't very convincing or come across as very innocent with these weird things they're doing to their eyes, with their eyes. So maybe they can't help it. I've heard of many demonic encounters, though, where the demon took on, as far as the person interacting with it could see, the complete form of a human child in order to play on their human sympathies. So then, what would be the reason that these particular demons, if they're taking the form of these two types of weird-eyed entities, for lack of a better term, why wouldn't they just go and do that and give themselves a total and more convincing makeover? I just haven't been able to figure that out yet. Before I close this out and leave you guys to let me know what you all think, and I go on ahead and start with part 2 as I go deeper into theories on the white and black-eyed kids, I want to present a counter to the above theory and another one. First, the counter being that the Bible says demons are without form and are void. They have never been born before and never were among the living. If this is so, then these theories could actually be wrong. Why would a demon have to have any colors to their eyes? This is what I originally thought of when I heard the demon theory for the first time, which is why I didn't put much stock into it and why this video is only coming right now. However, there is something called the Cherry demon, and this, after a ton of research, is what type of demon I think we could be dealing with here, should we decide to subscribe to this particular demon theory. Many Native American tribes tell of such a demon as well, and I explicitly remember hearing about them as a kid growing up. First off, the telekinesis and or mind control that's bound to accompany a white-eyed kid encounter, and most of the time, at least a little bit, will be mentioned when someone is retelling a BEK encounter as well, is a trademark signature of this particular demon. This theory also has its flaws, though, don't get me wrong. Remember, we're just discussing different theories about why these entities could be demons. I'm not claiming any definitive answers, but here's a bit of the legend. The Echiri is found in both Eastern and Western paranormal subcultures and folklore. Because of the confusion with the term Indian, the spirit can be found in Hindu mythology as well as North American Native Indian storytelling. In both cases, though, the Acheri takes the form of a little frail girl with a pale gray complexion. This female demon is said to enjoy human misery. It's believed that the Acheri was once herself an ill child who died in pain and suffered greatly. If one hears it singing or drum playing, it signifies the forthcoming of an incurable disease resulting in normally a child's death. The only reported protection against the Acheri is by wearing something red. Mothers have their children wear red all the time when they subscribe to this Acheri demon existing theory, right? Because it is a theory. We don't know for sure. How would we ever know any of this for a fact? Even if one of us witnessed or encountered something, not everyone's going to believe us, even if we have like super credibility. The color red appears to be a universal amulet in regards to protection against evil, because in European lore, red charms are also used to ward off spirits as well as evil spells of witches. Salt can be another method of protection. Salt is lined around the property boundaries or kept in leather pouches carried by children. There were a few witnesses that stated in their reports that the children they saw had superhuman strength, that some of the things they tore apart would have taken superhuman strength, and the children they saw were petite, small, innocent looking. The children seemed to have white hair or blonde hair, and they were all around the ages of 9 to 16 years of age. Most of the reports came from rural areas and were noticeably around Native American areas. But reports have filed in not just from the United States, though, from all over the world. And I believe that what we're dealing with is something similar to or akin to the Acheri demon, or the Acheri demon has evolved and doesn't have to be a frail little girl and could be a brown-haired little boy. I mean, it's something to think about. Theories evolve all the time, and we're just talking about theories. I'll have more for you on demons in general and demonic possession, and I'm still in the midst of a ton of research on the connection, not just between these two seemingly related phenomenon and demons, but also whether the phenomenon are related at all as well. I'm sorry if this was too fast. I'm sorry if I was reading too much. I'm trying to change my format, but I'm sick and my camera keeps blinking off. I know, totes not your problem, just letting you know why I've been so much more relaxed in my other videos, and now I'm back to my usually hyper self. I am trying to change a little bit and give the majority of you what you're asking for to the best of my ability. So tons of good stuff coming up. Thank you for supporting me, getting behind me, standing by me. Let me know what you all think in the comments. Just remember to keep it respectful. Please be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, enjoy spending this time with me. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and spread the love by sharing this video. Let's see what other people think about the demon theory. If you would do me the great favor of checking out the description box, there are some links. Justice for Caleb Smith. We are hoping to have an updated interview.
Okie dokies. All that's old stuff, so we don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I still see crazy things like shapes whizzing by. Other crazy things. It wouldn't surprise me, Andrew. Actually, it would not surprise me. But haven't you ever wondered that? You know, I talked to people recently who never believed in any of this stuff, now believing in this stuff because they've all had an encounter. You think because there's so many paranormal YouTube channels and it's always running, plus all the movies, plus the TV shows, do you think that we are not actually kind of calling them out? When you watch these shows, they're calling them out. But I'm sure you've seen your share of crazy stuff, Andrew, no doubt. One night a few years ago, I thought I was having I was having a missed test for shapes and where they were. Okay. I didn't read that very well, but I tried very well. See, my voice is going again. Thought I was having a missed test for shapes and what kind they were. Okay. Geez, Steve. Jumping Jehoshaphat's. But yeah, I kind of feel like we've kind of helped the veil not only thin, but lift too. So I believe the veil is lifting. Because I'm talking to people who just never believed in this stuff. Now kind of wondering. So, yeah. But yeah, I think when people talk about certain things, Andrew, just talking about things does summon them or wakes them up. Outro, what's up, bud? I hope you're having a good day. Good Saturday. That's like when I hung around with my grandparents down in Chillicothe around Mount Logan and stuff. They always said, yeah, you don't talk about the Fae when you're out there. You don't talk to things. If you see something, ignore it. I heard that a lot. How you doing, Latro? Did you have a good night last night? Did everybody have a good night last night? No, I know Andrew said something about it was a good night last night. Some people got some good information. People got some loving that needed it. Big day here in Cedar Park. Meetup for carnivore. Oh, that's right. You were talking about that last night. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I'm sure you did. I'm working on a strip steak right now. I made chicken. Just good old chicken. Chicken and rice. My son brings home this Japanese sauce that's really good. And I marinated the breast like for 3 days in this stuff. Oh, it was so tasty. And it was perfect with the rice. That's the thing. I'm slowly getting back to eating Asian food again. But I don't know if I'll ever eat. I might try. Sushi again. The last time I ate sushi, it made me so sick. I can look at it now. Every time it just doesn't want to go in my belly anymore. Like I said, parallel universe. Once one sees the light. I'm telling you, there's all kinds of things that we are just now understanding and thinking the possibilities of. Because there's a lot of people that say, oh, it's impossible. Well, we're finding out the impossible isn't. The impossible is now possible. So anything's possible. Oh, kimchi is one of the reasonable Asian foods. I don't mind South Korean food. Japanese food I always will love. Except for sushi right now. German food was okay. Italian food. And my mom almost married an Italian guy, so she learned how to cook all this Italian food. So I grew up on kind of Italian food for not being Italian. Polish food is good. It's almost the same as German food, kind of. Sweden food's not bad. You just gotta have certain taste buds for certain things, because they like some weird stuff. You know, everybody goes, oh, Japanese food's weird. It's all the strange fish to eat, man. You should go some of these other places. It's pretty funny. You must have said something, Latro, because it showed up in my chat here on StreamYard, but it didn't show up in YouTube chat. Any surprise the entree? Yeah, that's why, because you said any surprise the entire medical system, the FDA is rigged for profit and against you. Oh, I know that is. That's probably why it wouldn't let you show it in chat. See, they do monitor. That's funny. So it wasn't me. It was YouTube. Me and Gemma are starting to notice that more and more now, that certain chats are showing up in StreamYard but not in YouTube. It's because they're not letting it go through. Yeah, shocker. It's just only getting worse now. I need to get her prepped and ready to go to Rumble. That way she can stream on both. She can be a little more freer over there. Rumble's kind of become a streaming platform anyways. I mean, they got videos over there, but a lot of it's streaming. A lot of people just go over there to stream and then post what they do on YouTube over there. What time we got? I'll try to make it till 12. We're at 11:30, so I'll try to make it to 12. That's 2 hours. Vixen's having a good day. She babysitted baby dogs. She babysitted a puppy dog. Puppy dog, excuse me. Just trying to keep things going for, I don't know, if it stays like this, I may not make it another half hour. Hello, 10 folks that are in here. Thank you for coming in. Please make sure you hit the like button. I've already showed the uploads, so you missed out on those. Unless these guys want another one. I mean, if you want another upload, I can throw a short one in. We'll go to about midnight. And hopefully I'll be going back to my midnight shows here soon. Yeah, Gemma's. This is my night. My nights are Wednesdays and Saturdays. And Gemma does a premiere video, Lisa Lamb. Remember, Lisa Lamb, Monday at 11 a.m. ET time, Eastern time. Right here on this channel, she's doing Lisa Lamb out of the book, what she wrote in the book. And don't forget, we spring ahead, folks, tonight. So those who live in areas where we have to jump up an hour, that happens tonight. So remember to set your clocks ahead when you go to bed. 1 second. Hey, John P., 1 second. How you doing, sir? I hope you are well, too. Hugs to you, too. Yeah, Gemma's chilling. She's probably crashed. Or playing games or watching her phone or TV or something. Elisa Lamb. Yeah, I like that mystery, too. It's a good one. It's going to be a good one because it's the one she did from the book. In her new book. So, just like last week. Last week was a good one, too. Those were from her book. So, check them out. I'll be there. I'm sure I'll be there. I don't have a doctor's appointment until later that day. I have one more set of tests, or actually 2 tests Monday. I have to leave here around 3 o'clock or something. Wait a minute. Are they in the morning now? They may have changed it. I got to look. Oh, I have to be there at 9 o'clock. So hopefully I'm home in time for Lisa Lamb. I thought it was an afternoon, but I might just be walking in when these starts, or I have to watch at the hospital if I can. I always watch the replay, though. So make sure you guys are there for her in case I'm not. But 11 a.m. Eastern time, Monday morning. Chat will be open, so go say hi to each other. I wonder if that's Sleazy Hotel still open. Actually, it is. It's been bought and it's being re-renovated, I believe. But I'm not sure. Where did I hear that? Not too long ago, actually. But yeah, that place was not a good place. It housed all kinds of crazy, screwed up. Well, any hotel. I don't have too much problem going into hotels unless I see something walking around with somebody. But most times, the stuff I've seen at the hotel seems to be residual. But I know a lot of bad things happen at hotels. A lot of people kind of take themselves away from this world in the hotels. So a lot of them are kind of creepy. Give off a creepy vibe. But that place was sleazy, had a bad reputation. And then when she was there, it was getting better, but it still was not a good place. And it is an interesting case. I don't think they ever came to any conclusions how she got in the tank. Or how she managed. I heard all kinds of theories, though. I think it was demon. And then they tried to say she suffered from bipolar. And now that I'm old, I only use hotels for travel. Yeah, me too. And even then, I'm really picky about what hotel it is, where it's at. I read all the ratings and reviews. It's funny because we, for her book signing Halloween, 3 years ago. I went up there to Jersey, and the Halloween signing was up way north of her by her sisters. So we decided we'd just stay the night there. So I wanted to get us a hotel. So I got us hotel rooms. And yes, rooms. I said rooms. And it was funny because they were nice, super nice places. Hers was real nice. Mine was real nice. But you couldn't drink the water. They handed you bottled water because there was a bacteria in the thing. I said, well, how do you supposed to take a shower then? You tape your mouth shut. But the place was super nice. They just said they had a bad water tank and they were trying to get it flushed. All that crap. I was like, So is that why my room's a little cheaper than it should have been? But they were good folk. I mean, they made sure we were comfortable and everything. They made sure we were side by side that way. No. We were close because we were only staying a quick night and then back to Vermont. And then we were coming back that way to go to the Halloween party. Then we ate good that night too at the book signing. But I looked awful in the book signing. I hate that one picture of us standing in the bar. And that's basically what it was, but it's nice. We got a bunch of new ones, Marriott Suites. Yeah, they're building up around here too again. The one we stayed in the hotel during the fire, the one we stayed at, the hotel we stayed at was really nice. They treated us great. They even helped me find my clothes. Somebody stole clothes out of the laundromat there. Stole my clothes out of the laundromat and helped me find my clothes. Busted the person that did it. I said I would have stayed with them. I had to go to the bathroom. By the time I came back, everything was gone. I was pissed. Days Me Auditorium was the next door to one of the Firefly buildings, the company that just landed the probe on the moon. Oh, yeah, really? Oh, cool. Did you go over and ask for a job? Yeah, I'm a mechanic. I can fix things. There's a job for you. Andrew's stuck sleeping in a parking lot. They charge now, they charge truckers to stay the night in those rest stops at the gas stations. I don't know. Somebody said they'll probably start charging them at the rest stops, but I don't think they'll do that. A lot of those guys only stay long enough to get a couple hours sleep. I don't know. Andrew, have you ever stayed the whole night at a actual rest stop? I've heard some stories about guys that have down south and out west. Some pretty good ones. One's a great big, I'm pretty sure it was a Bigfoot story. He didn't say what he saw. Said it was big. And it was banging on the side of his trunk. And the other guy in the truck beside him was freaking out. He kept telling him, don't get out of the truck. I love to work there. I used to work at NASA. Glenn Research Center Software and Instrument. Oh, really? Really? Oh, that's way cool. That's way cool, Ultra. That's very cool. So did you live up here when Bell and Hal was on campus? I mean, when you lived in Ohio, were you around when Bell and Hal were here working? They had a couple places. They had one here by campus. I think they still do. And they're real private. Yeah, I heard it had kind of a hard landing too. But hey, that's what it's all about. We're worried about going to space. We better worry about what's in our own waters. Because there's a lot of stuff. You notice they don't talk a whole lot about going and exploring the sea. Every so often you see footage from a sub, one of those submersibles, or the robot ones going deep. But you don't see too much footage. I wonder why. What's down there? There were 2 lanes. The last one tipped over. Funny. Oops. I can see it on the moon doing this. Like a turtle. Get me up. Somebody flip me over. I began a career as a rocket scientist. I've been working my way down the line ever since. I've been there. I've done that. Sometimes it's the best thing you could do. I kind of went up and I kind of came back down. Well, look at it this way. You know, when you do that, you become pretty much a journeyman in that field. So, but it does feel like you're climbing back down below. But I didn't know you worked there at Glenn. That's pretty cool. That's way cool. So you haven't been working at Area 51 with Juan? So I'm glad he's popped in the other day. I hope he's well. I hope Edna's good because I do kind of worry. She wasn't here Friday night. And she don't show up tonight. Yeah, I'm a little worried. I hope she's okay. I hope she's just having fun. And I hope everybody had fun last night too. What time is it? I may shut it down early tonight, folks. Quiet. I only talk because you guys are talking. But yeah, I think I am. I'm going to call it. And I should be here Wednesday, but be here Monday for Gemma, 11 a.m. Eastern time. It'll be Lisa Lamb. It should be a really good one. She's taking it right from the book. So from a book she did. You know, she's trying to, give her opinions of what really happened. And that's cool. The what ifs and what if impossibles, as one might say. Anyways, I want everybody to have a wonderful Sunday. Be good to yourselves and be good to each other. Please have a wonderful Sunday and a good start. Hopefully I'll see you guys Monday. Excuse me. See you guys Monday. And much love. Thank you for everybody showing up and hanging out, checking out the uploads with me. It's just a good time to let you guys talk and something be playing in the background. So I know you do. And she appreciates you, and we both appreciate you very much. So have a wonderful one, guys. Be safe. And I'll hopefully see you Monday afternoon on the flip side. Peace out. A lot of love to you all.